Now I know that this looks like a muscle, but in reality, this is one head to a huge muscle on the front of your thigh called the quadriceps femoris. This thing is so big, it has 4 heads to it. You are just looking at the vastus lateralis head. Now, I also want to be very clear here. When I'm in the classroom, I teach this as a muscle. Because if you were to write down, or if I was to write down all 4 of the origins, insertions, and functions for the entirety of the quadriceps femoris muscle, I don't think I have enough space on the whiteboard. So most anatomists, most people I know, treat this as an individual muscle, and that's exactly why you're watching a video specific to the vastus lateralis. But technically, this is one head to a really big muscle called the quadriceps femoris. But its name literally means big muscle on the side of the thigh, right? The vastus lateralis. But this thing is so big, it comes all the way up to the greater trochanter, and it's something called the intertrochanteric line. And then on the back side, you have the linea aspera. Right, so there's 3 origins to this thing. So the greater trochanter, the intertrochanteric line, and the linea aspera, which is this sharp ridge line that runs the entire back side of the femur. That's how big the origin is for the vastus lateralis. But it doesn't cross the hip. Right, as big as this thing is, it doesn't cross the hip. In fact, neither do these other 2 heads of the quadriceps femoris. Instead, it's going to just anchor itself to the femur, and then it's going to cross on the anterior aspect of the knee. And what it's doing is it's merging with the other heads of the quadriceps femoris into what is called the quadriceps tendon. This tendon is, again, where everything is converging, and it's all blending into the patella, or your kneecap. And then, from the patella to the tibia is this really dense piece of connective tissue right here called the patellar ligament. And that means vastus lateralis, along with the other quadriceps, are all going to pull on the patella, which is then going to come down and pull on the tibia, and it's going to extend the knee. And we're going to see that action in just a moment. But I mean, as massive as this thing is, it's kind of crazy that the only thing it really does is extension of the knee, which is a very hinge-like motion. But I also do want to mention, and you have to look really closely to see this, there is a really thin line going down here. That is the IT band. Right, so the iliotibial band or tract, which is a tendon/fascia hybrid that is part of this muscle here called the tensor fasciae lati, that is going to be superficial to that vastus lateralis. Now, if you want to find your vastus lateralis, all you got to do is make this shape with your hand and put it on the side of your thigh, and pretty much everything that you are feeling right there, that's the vastus lateralis. Like when you say big muscle on the lateral side of the thigh, you mean big muscle on the lateral side of the thigh. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you the action of vastus lateralis. To do that, we're going to scan up to the top of this article. You see, this is a 100% free Kenhub article, and we've gone ahead and left a link down the description below, so feel free to go ahead and click on it. You can follow along. Now, this video here is a premium feature, but I want to show you the value of these videos, because what I've done is I've skipped ahead so we can see the function of the vastus lateralis. And I'm going to go ahead, hit full screen, and what we can see is it's labeling knee joint extension. And so to give you an idea of what we're seeing here, this is the os coxa. You can see the sacrum and the coccyx, and then you can see the femur, and what's happening is this action at the hip joint is called flexion of the hip. So basically what you're looking at here is like someone sitting in a chair. Like this is the exact position I am in right now as I'm sitting in this chair. Like my body is upright, but the hip is in a flexed position. And then what we can see is that the knee is also in what's called a flexed position. But we can see this vastus lateralis as it's coming around, and you can see it blending into the patella. And then if you look really closely, you can see there's this piece of connective tissue coming down to the tibial tuberosity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press play, and we can just go ahead and watch and see what extension of the knee is going to look like. And there it is, right? That is like you're kicking a ball. So just think about that. And you might be wondering, like, why do you need this muscle? In fact, let's go back here. I want to show you this. This is kind of crazy. If we go back down to this image, again, there are 4 muscles. We're missing one of them. Actually, you know what? Let's scroll to the top, because this article is not devoted purely to vastus lateralis. This article is devoted to all 4 heads of the quadriceps femoris. By the way, you can see one of our quiz features just embedded inside of this article. So I'm going to scan all the way to the top. Again, this is free. This is free. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this picture, and you can see all of the quadriceps heads right here. And again, though, all 4 of them are going to insert on that tibial tuberosity and extend the knee. And you might be wondering, why do you need so many muscles? And why is the vastus lateralis, this massive muscle, why are they only extending the knee? It has to do with gait. Right? Gait is walking. And what you want to do is make sure that you are very consistently extending the knee so your foot lands on the ground every single time, every single step. And so you need powerful muscles to swing that knee into the right position every single time. And that is exactly what vastus lateralis and the rest of the quadriceps femoris is going to do. Now, I hope you really enjoyed this video and you learned something valuable about the vastus lateralis. If you did, what I'd like you to do is jump on down, hit that like button. Little things like that go a really long way, believe it or not. And while you're down there, leave us a comment. Let us know what other topics and structures you would like us to discuss in the future. The best thing we want to do is try to give you videos that you actually want to watch and not just guess what you want to watch. But thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next video.